They're after Genesis.
There it goes. I swear to God, dude, it's such garbage. Garbage. And now it's not even showing up. Is it showing up? There it is.
Oh, man. Hold on. I got some new Multiverses news coming in hot.
Oh, great. All right. This is going.
We might have enough to go on.
It's fine. There's nothing. If there's nothing, there's nothing. It's fine.
Speed. Well, it's just that I'm just going through it now.
Okay. I am recording something.
Nice. I need to.
I'm recording something right now. I turned my microphone all the way down again because that's what it takes. This up. Got you nerds up. We're streaming. NBA 2K3.
Oh, hey, did somebody put Temtem on the new releases?
No.
I'm going to put it on there. Yeah, Temtem. It's like a new Pokemon MMO. I mean, it's not Pokemon. It's, like a...
Temtem has been out for like 2 or 3 years.
If it's been out, they just released it. Is
this a new Temtem? Or is it like, or did it like just come out of early access or something?
If it came out of early access, it came out pretty hard because it's on all platforms now. I mean, it's possible, but...
is this old? This is old. Why?
But it's not free. But if somebody were like interested in Temtem, I would play through the campaign for Temtem co-op with Dale, Jones. This is the only way it'll happen,
dude. How do I even get to new releases?
Is the website not working for you?
It's like old shit.
You guys have that problem where it like goes to the one from September 2019 or something?
Dude, I stopped complaining about that years ago.
Nobody,
but you guys didn't believe me for months.
Oh, stop it.
Not once has that ever happened.
Okay, I finally got to the right one. I finally got to the right one.
8th to 14th.
There ain't shit coming out, guys.
The outline should be new. Temtem.
I've never even heard of that and don't really want to hear about it.
I've heard of Temtem. I remember Jeff Gersman talking about Temtem on like the Giant Bombcast like a long time ago.
They announced it like 3 years ago or something, but I don't know if it's been in early access.
One Dreamer, is that on your list of guns? Better be.
It's getting to be a kind of long list of guns.
There's a lot of guns.
Justice Sucks. Is that on your list? That's a pretty good one.
The Hand of Glory. Did you put that? Okay, wait.
Hand of Glory is a good one.
Okay.
I did put the Hand of Glory.
Okay.
Demon Go! Exclamation point.
Demon Go. Haiku the Robot.
You suck at parking is a good...
I've been teasing my son about that game. I sent him a link because it was coming to Game Pass. I'm like, hey, you want any of these games you're interested in checking out?
All right, I'm gonna start recording.
You suck at parking?
Okay.
Well, I'm teaching him to drive, and he sucks at parking currently. So
yeah.
And I tease him about it every single time. Splatoon 3, is that on your list?
It should be. I thought.
Is that out now? I thought that was.
Yeah.
I guess
not only is it out, but it is in the news.
I didn't see it on the list, I suppose.
It is in.
It's right there in the list under Switch.
And in fact, it's in the speed run. But I guess if it's on the new releases, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. What the? Oh, okay. Oh shit, let's do this before I fall asleep.
All right.
Radical Rex.
I'm recording.
I have a brother named Rex. I'm gonna buy him that game.
Radical Rex. Oh,
it's a Super Nintendo game. It's a Super Nintendo game.
Huh.
Oh, like Chuck Rock.
No, like Radical Rex. $7 on Steam. This didn't come out. This is 2019 release. What does the new release say? Oh, Switch. So I was I was on the Steam or the eShop. Nintendo eShop. And I was just browsing games. I was like, I wanted to see what was on sale to see if there was anything on the 3DS that were on sale. And I just clicked on like shop games, and you go to like the platform drop down. There are 12,980 games on the eShop for the Nintendo Switch.
That's too many games. It's too many.
Compared to 927 for the 3DS.
It's
12,980 games for the Nintendo Switch.
You've probably played most of those on the DS by now.
All 927 of them?
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit on the DS, but nothing like the Switch. Like, holy cow, dude. 12,000. There's not even that many. That's crazy. It's just crazy to me.
It's a very big successful platform for Nintendo, right?
Yeah, I mean,
and I think this is the first time they've had an eShop where they actually like kind of open it up to anyone.
They had that with the 3DS.
Did they do that on the Wii U?
Wii U had an eShop with whatever you wanted.
But like, how wide open was it to get your stuff on there?
I have no idea.
Because I remember the Wii being like pretty restrictive, I think.
Really? Because the Wii was a garbage dump by the time it was done.
Yeah, but they were all physical games.
Maybe it started out restrictive and then...
Yeah, I suppose that's true. They didn't have...
eShop, like, that was when it was...
Remember that, like, Zack and Wiki and, like, Lost Winds or whatever it was called? Like...
Oh, yeah.
Some of those
Zack and Wiki was physical, though.
But there was some kind of deal about it being on the Wii digital, maybe? I don't know. That's been a long time now. Long time ago.
Well, the stream's working. I'm recording. Outline's probably about as good as it'll get.
Okay, let's do this. Let's clap on the count of 3. Ready?
Oh,
One.
Hold on. I'm not recording yet. Now I'm recording. All right.
1, 2, 3.
Yes.
All right. 5:58, Jeremy.
4 seconds. In a little bit.
Guess what? Our band's playing at a bar on the 25th.
That's cool. Is it a good bar?
Redemption. You ever been there? It's over by my house.
No.
It's actually
sounds good though.
It's actually pretty good.
I probably won't go to the bar to see your band though. Sorry.
Can't say that I've been.
Why not?
Redemption.
I'm not gonna go to a bar.
It's not like a shitty bar. It's like a pretty nice place.
Oh man, they won't. You
could probably get some like potato poppers or some kind of crap.
They have like legit. Like I had a French dip sandwich last night at that place because we were checking
out. Pretzels are making me thirsty.
They have yeah, it's really nice. Actually, really nice. It's not like
I imagine bars in Utah must have a lot of non-alcoholic options for people that don't drink, right?
No, those people just don't go to bars.
They just don't go to bars.
Yeah. But it's a nice place.
Non-alcoholic
That's
beers.
cool.
There's like Omission Ale. You guys get that stuff?
They have O'Doul's here.
O'Doul's. Yeah, I've had O'Doul's. Omission. Or maybe I'm thinking of. Maybe they leave gluten out of that, not alcohol. That'd be a different thing.
Omission.
Yeah, there's it's one of the. I think it's one of the local like Oregon brewers. Who makes that? It's like Full Sail.
Hops with Oregon moss.
Yeah, probably moss beer.
Moss beer.
Man, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
They had to get creative up in
that crap?
The Northwest.
Omission Ultimate Golden Ale.
The native Northwest Americans.
Is it? I guess it's their own company. I was thinking it was another one of the beer companies.
I don't know. Are we ready?
I think so.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Game by Show podcast. It's September 12th, 2022. This is the Game by Show. My name is LeGrand Jolly. This evening, Jeremy Lamont. Hello, Jeremy.
Hey, LeGrand. Hey, everybody.
And there's Dale Jones. Hello, Dale. Say hello.
I thought we had already started the show when we were going off on our tangent about beer.
We sure were not.
About moss beer.
Moss beer.
We're not. But
that omits gluten.
What was it called?
Taste.
Omission beer.
Omission. Because it omits things.
Omission. I'm like looking it up now.
It's like a reductive beer.
I thought it was like made by one of the, like a Full Sail or like a, I don't know, Widmer or one of the Oregon brewers, but it looks like it's out of Chicago. Unless this is like a different Omission.
This is very interesting.
They substitute hops with like cricket proteins and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, everybody,
Pale Ale. I've had that
we
one.
missed last week, and it wasn't our fault.
It is.
Well, no, it was a holiday. We did it on purpose. Totally.
Yeah, we missed Labor Day on purpose because we were all. It was a holiday. Everyone gets that. We get off of our jobs, and we get off of our job of the Game by Show podcast.
We're not going to spend that talking on a podcast. What do you?
That's right. What did we all do?
I
went to a
started
barbecue.
watching. No, I started watching. Oh, you mean on that day? I don't know.
Well, I don't care. Whatever.
On Labor Day?
No, you know what? Actually, I had friends over. We played Rock Band. I played Rock Band.
Oh, wow.
That sounds like a
which
Jeremy
was
thing to do.
good. And then we played Mario Party, and I got the floor wiped with me. But in the last 2 weeks, I'm curious to know if you guys, the new Lord of the Rings television show has come out. And what do you think, Dale?
I honestly don't really know what to think. I'm trying to it's I don't know, unfortunate or maybe by design that they put it out at the same time as the new Game of Thrones show also. And so it's like they're setting themselves up to be compared against each other. And I don't know if it's necessarily fair to either one, but I can't help thinking that I like one better than the other.
Which one?
I don't want to disclose that information.
Really, because I'll say it straight up. Like, I think that like flowing golden hair and like like somebody chewing the scenery about like the land of wrath and ruin and stuff like that. Like,
you could be describing either one of these.
Yeah, that's the thing. One just has more blood.
No, I'm totally disclosing it. You can, read for that yourself. Whatever you think about it. No,
I do like the one that has the lady with the long flowing blonde hair
and the sword.
And the sword, yeah, lots of swords.
And the dragons, maybe.
And the portent, is there a lot of portent?
Oh yeah, lots of dudes with like shoulder length hair and scruff.
That's right. That's yeah, a little bit of just like a little sexy kind of like a little stubble going on there. Yeah, that's my kind of show.
So that's the one that I like.
So what's your take then, Jeremy? You like it?
I do. The Lord of the Rings show, yeah, I have not really tapped into, because I'm sure there's drama. There's always drama. But as somebody who is a moderate to severe Tolkien nerd, I mean, there are others who outrank me, but it's pretty good. I think that the funny thing is that Amazon, so they first of all spent $1 billion on it, and I think it was well spent. Like,
you can see it on the screen.
It has a look and feel that is consistent with the films, and they are definitely trying for that. I mean, I don't know that there's any official, ties, but
I agree with your assessment.
They make it look like that. The music, Bear McCreary, which is good. Which it kind of blends a little bit into God of War a little bit. So it kind of,
that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's good.
Battlestar Galactica is what I think of.
Is that right? So a little bit of Battlestar Galactica, Bear McCreary, and the dialogue is Tolkien-esque. I mean, it's not awesome. The actors that they got to play things, like the dude who plays Elrond, like, who are you going to get who looks like Hugo Weaving?
Did you know that guy also played Ned Stark on Game of Thrones?
Did he really?
Yeah, like there was like this one episode of Game of Thrones where it was like a flashback, and he was young Ned Stark in that episode.
Oh man, so he triangulates.
Who was Elrond Hubbard?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a weird show. It goes places.
So whoever that actor is, I don't even know his name. He triangulates Hugo Weaving and what's his name? The guy who always dies, Sean Bean. He's like somewhere in the middle. Like, if they had a child, it would look like
you know what ties this all together, Jeremy, is I happened to watch a movie with Sean Bean in it just the other night, and that is 2004's Troy.
Wow.
Also with our boy Legolas is in that movie also.
Orlando Bloom.
Orlando Bloom.
Isn't Brad Pitt in that movie?
Brad Pitt is in that. He plays Achilles.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, this is totally unrelated to anything, but I had a dream the other night that I was talking to Kevin Costner, and I was telling him how much Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, made an impact on my personality and disposition. And I was like, hey, well, I was going to ask him. And the funny thing was, I was lucid enough in this dream to remember that that Morgan Freeman was who was he? I can't think of the character's name, but
who is he in that movie?
He's like the Saracen dude who's like his friend, Kasim, or something like that, Kasim or whatever. Wasn't that Morgan Freeman in there?
Yes,
I hope it was.
It was.
Okay,
yes, it
was. Well, it's not Dave Chappelle, because that's Robin Hood Men in Tow.
Anyway, so it's been kind of a wild couple weeks for me. So
that's probably a movie that still holds up. If I had to guess, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves probably still holds up.
Hey, and what's his name? Snape. What's that dude's name?
Nobody knows. He died.
Come on, no. He was in Nakatomi Plaza. I can't think of.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Also, he was in By Grabthar's Hammer.
We can remember the location, the fictional location in the movies he's in, but not the name.
What is I can't think of the dude's name. It'll come to me later. I'll just yell it out.
Yeah, the guy I work with.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking it up because.
No, don't look it up. We'll get it.
No, I'm looking it up because we're not going to remember. Alan Rickman.
Alan
Alan
Rickman.
Rickman. He's like, Alan Rickman died, and I was like, yeah, he died like a year ago or
Yeah.
something.
Most famously is the Sheriff of Nottingham from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Absolutely, cut his heart out with a spoon because it'll hurt more.
That's right. Yep. Man, that was a good movie, and I was
It's
like,
a good
just the
movie.
right
I bet it
age for
holds up.
too.
I promise you, it holds up.
And you know what? I'm telling you,
Kevin
that song,
Costner's butts in it. It's gotta hold up.
I would do anything to watch that movie again.
Yeah, and I also played the NES game. The NES Robin
But I
Hood,
won't
Prince of
do
Thieves
that.
was not awesome. Wow, that was a weird mashup. Good,
Yeah, that was.
good job.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
That was okay. Well, speaking
I'm
of bad
also wearing,
Nintendo games,
I'm
I
also
played a
wearing
bunch
my
of bad
Hobbits or a
Nintendo
Tolkien
games.
minority shirt today, so it goes with some of the squawking that's going on out there.
So, what about these Harfoots? What's the deal with them?
They're like
hobbits?
They're like proto hobbits. So this is like thousands of years before the Third Age. So this is this
First
is the fall
age,
of
probably?
Gondolin. Second Age, technically.
Oh,
Second
of
Age,
course.
but there are
Isn't Lord of the
references
Rings
back
at
to
the
the First
end
Age.
of the Third Age?
It is at the end of the Third Age. So the
So it's
Fourth
like
Age begins immediately after. And that's
way
right.
longer.
Yeah.
It's really far.
When are they going to go to the future and talk about future Lord of the Rings?
In the when it joins into Warhammer 40K or whatever,
Yeah.
and they
Lord of the Rings.
the
40K.
Mad Emperor sits upon his skull
when the
throne.
The
comes
orcs
on board.
Yeah,
the orc boys.
Mm-hmm.
Boys.
Cool, man. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I did not watch Lord of the Rings. I watched the Game of Thrones, though. One episode. I watched the first episode.
I'm
acceptable.
I'm enjoying both of those shows.
It feels very Game of Thrones. I'm gonna have to watch Lord of the Rings by myself. The wife and I are watching Game of Thrones because she's into that. She's not into Lord of the Rings. She doesn't care.
Really?
I don't think she cares about Game of Thrones either. But we're watching that, and I don't think it's good. I think it feels like a Game of Thrones show.
It does.
Sure. They did a good job of that.
That's TV Bytes for you.
Are they going to rewrite the ending of the original series now?
I think so. I think so.
They're going to retcon it.
Yeah, I watched an interview the other day of where George R.R. Martin was interviewing Stephen King and asking him how he was able to write so much. And Stephen King basically said, "Well, I have a goal every day of writing 6 pages, and if I have a book that is." And so if his books are averaging like 400 pages each, like he can churn out 3 books a year.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's
a good idea.
That's the way that he rolls.
Well, it's almost I don't know. Isn't what the is writing month over? I forget what the months are.
NaNoWriMo. I think it's November when they do that.
Yeah, coming up.
That's the month where you don't shave.
Oh yeah, Movember or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That too.
Yeah.
We should make up a month. I think October is Game by Show month.
Let's do it.
No games October.
No games October. Board games only October.
Get on here and talk about some crap.
Yeah.
We can talk about
I made a questionable board game purchase. We'll save that for later though. We're already like 14 minutes into this thing.
That's okay. We're having a good conversation. It's been very insightful.
Well, I bought a questionably reviewed single-use
Dune game.
Yes, did I? Oh yeah, okay.
Did you buy that? I bought 2 copies. You bought 2 of them? Oh my gosh!
They were $10.
So good, man! I'm so glad you did that.
That's $10 is a super cheap.
So my hope is, and I don't know if I
and everybody
this,
says it's not worth $10.
Everybody actually, I saw some mixed reviews. There were some reviews that were like very poor about it, but then there were some that were like, it is rather Dune-y, for somebody who is interested in this and isn't expecting like a board game RPG, something like that. It is a narrative experience. So my whole theory is that I can, and we've talked about this. It's been a while, but you guys remember I bought that Dune Imperium RPG. And
still waiting for an invite to come out.
I know, that's the thing. So
and I told you I'd play in your campaign.
Dale has told me, and like this is the day I'm holding my hope out for Dale Jones to play my Dune Imperium RPG. But what I'm going to do is to ease into it. I'm going to try this narrative whodunit Dune experience that is apparently on hard clearance. And so I
they must have a lot of these to be selling them for 75% off.
I don't know. And I really thought about it. I backed it out and I was like, maybe I only need 1. And then I was like, no, I just got to get 2 of them.
You got 2, dude. So good,
well, if it's consumable, otherwise you have to not use the stickers or whatever. So just in case I need to adapt it for online use or take pictures, or I don't know what. I got one that I could keep.
I have a board game that I think it's Arkham Horror, the card game. Anyway, where you're supposed to use stickers as well to like put them on the places where you've been. But I just didn't. Use
This
the
is a huge
stickers.
racket. It's like a huge like you play. This
I didn't use
game
the
once.
stickers. Like, why would I use the stickers? Like, who cares? Like,
yeah. Although I will say, I did see it done really well. There's a whole game. There's a legacy board game series where they take old games like Risk, and they have Risk Legacy. And for example, you replay that game like 20 times, but every time you do, it mutates in a physical material. Like
there's lots of those now. Pandemic's got one. They have two seasons of Pandemic. Or Clank. Clank's got a Clank Legacy version.
Really, it's kind of a cool idea, but also a huge racket. But honestly, then when you think about the number of times you're actually going to play
it gets to an end state where it's still playable. You just don't do any further changes.
There would be no reason to play it again because it's like narrative. It's like a whole narrative story. It's like playing through like Dune Imperium. No, not Dune Imperium. Like Twilight Assault or the Star Wars
Twilight Imperium.
No, what's it called? Star Wars. The one with the miniatures. It's like, there's any number of these. Hero Quest, for example.
Star Wars Legacy?
Like Hero Quest has a story and has these bespoke
Yoda
specific
stories.
Yeah, these specific like missions that you do, and it's a story arc. And once you get done, there's not really a reason to go.
Star Wars Legions is the like it's like the Warhammer-esque like
I got it. It's
miniatures
here
game.
My freaking, what's it called? Imperial Assault. It's right there.
Imperial Assault. Okay.
It's like a dungeon crawler Star Wars game that's like scenarios, but they're all the same.
Sequel to the well-loved FMV Star Wars game, Star Wars Rebel Assault.
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
They're direct sequel.
You know, Jeremy, you tried desperately to get off the tangents that we've been just.
Well, we were like, you almost had it, and then I was like, "Hey, do you guys want to hear my dream about Kevin Costner?"
Hey, that was worth it, dude. That was so worth it.
And that legit happened too. And I woke up.
I'm gonna go look up that movie. I'm gonna find out where I can stream that. I'm gonna watch it.
We should have a Game Bytes Show movie night.
If we can do that like on Amazon, or we can like share screens or whatever.
Waterworld.
Yeah.
Robin Hood Prince. 1991. Dang, dude. It's on
he's
Paramount Plus.
He's Pa Kent.
Oh yeah. George. Is it George? George and Martha?
George? I don't know.
That was George and Martha.
I need to watch this movie. Robin Hood Prince of Thieves. All right, guys, video games. Listen, let's get back on topic. Let's get back on track. Let's not piss off our listeners really anymore.
That's right.
I've got a smorgasbord of video games that I played.
Pick one.
I'm not going to touch on the one. Listen, we've been gone for a while, and I've been desperately trying to find some. I played a bunch of crappy NES ROMs on the 2DS. Cool. That was exciting. Most NES games are bad. I mean, there's a lot of bad games.
A lot of them really are. Super NES games.
A lot of really bad games on the NES. I played Legend of Cage. It was bad. I played Rambo. Also bad.
Did you play Fester's
I played Jurassic Park. Horrible. I played Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. It's terrible.
Dr. Chaos?
No. Did not play that.
Did you play Jackal? Jackal's pretty good.
I beat Jackal, actually.
Nice.
I beat all of Jackal. I scummed my way through Jackal, and I scummed my way through a game called Captain Skyhawk. Which I had never beat when I was a kid because it was way too hard, and I scummed my way through it, and the ending was very disappointing. It's a good one.
It sounds like it's based on a
really
TV show or something.
It's actually really good.
Like a cartoon.
I think so, but one of my buddies, my neighbors growing up, had it, and I remember him getting it for his birthday. And anyway,
Legendary
Captain Skyhawk.
Wings.
Yes. I also am about halfway through Red Dead Redemption 2. Still going strong.
Sweet.
I started playing ranked matches in Heroes of the Storm. I'm ranked gold 5. Gold 5. So there's bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, master, grandmaster, and I'm in gold. Ranked. Because I'm sick and tired of the crappy matchmaking where nobody has an actual team put together and the quick play sucks. So I've been playing ranked, which has been great. With like the draft and that.
Serious mode. I'm not here to mess around. I'm not here to make friends.
I'm here for good matches where it may be more even footed than.
Who's your main?
I play a lot of different characters. I play Deckard Cain. I play Nazebo. Oh, yeah. I've been playing Muradin, who's a dwarf tank. I've been learning a bunch of new characters. Hogger. I've been learning Hogger. Anduin. I've been learning how to play Anna, which is the Overwatch hero. She's really fun to play. Anyway, Heroes of the Storm continues to delight, despite being out of print.
No new characters being added to that.
They are done. Hogger was the last character, ironically enough. Deathwing's in there. He's not very...
Hogger finally killed it.
Yeah, Hogger destroyed.
They were like,
game.
this is the bottom of the.
I did try out a game though on the Xbox Game Pass. This game is a game made by the people that did Her Story. Have you guys heard of this? Yeah. That Her Story. I think you played that, Dale.
Yeah.
So there's a game that is called Immortality.
Immortality.
Yeah. And so I guess this is the third game by that same studio. There's another one that came out that I can't remember what it was called.
I think that was Telling Lies.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. So Immortality, I kind of started dabbling a little bit in this. And this is one of those FMV games where it opens up and there's this actress, and I guess she's gone missing. And your job is to scrub through all this video footage of these 3 movies that she filmed, but were never released. And so you have little clips of the movie, which may include like, but it's like raw footage. It's not like, just clips
like outtakes and stuff of movie production.
Yeah, or there might be like them reading the script or just doing a walkthrough of a scene or something, like not on, with actual full makeup and costume or whatever. But then you have the rest of whatever. And so the driving thing behind this game is to try to find out what happened, like the mystery of what happened to this actress. Her name is Marcel.
Ali Sheedy. Oh.
Is that the actress?
No, that's just a real actress. I don't know what happened to her.
And so it's an interesting game where you're scrubbing through this footage, and at any given moment you can actually just pause the camera, and then you have a cursor that comes up, and you can select an object in the scene. So say somebody is in a scene and they pick up an orange and they're peeling an orange, right? Say that's an example. Well, you could pause it, click on the orange, and it'll swap out to another scene where maybe here's a bowl of apples or something. And then that's how you kind of move and progress from scene to scene. Like
in the scene, the orange changes to a bowl of apples?
No, so there's a clip that has
just
an orange
like wormholes to something else that's going on.
To another clip that may be adjacent to whatever item. So say I'm watching a scene and there's this character that comes on the scene and he's talking. I'm like, oh, I want to find out more about him. I click on him and it'll take me to another scene that he's in. Or like, oh, there's this dagger or there's this gun or there's this whatever, a window or a candle. Like you can just click on that's kind of your navigation to kind of get. And I don't know how Her Story worked or how that
sounds kind of like how Her Story worked. Actually, it was like keywords, like
okay, keyword. Yeah, that was the way in Her Story, and this is actually objects. So because all of the little video clips that you're seeing are actual parts of a movie, whether they're a script read or it's an actual produced part of the movie or it's something else. And so you're trying to, and then you can like organize all of these clips to try to piece together the storyline of each of these movies. And I don't know when it's going to click. At this point, it feels like I'm just watching a bunch of random parts of movies and trying to kind of put it together. But I guess at some point it like really starts to click where you start to discover certain characters and people that are in these movies, and a lot of them share the same actors. So basically, you have actors playing actors, in these movies or whatever. And so, all 3 of these movies have like they share same actors. The directors maybe are the same, and of course, this main actress who is across all 3 of them. Like she's the one. Her name is Marissa Marcel. She's the one that you're trying to find out where what happened, like why did she disappear, like what's up with these movies, why were they never released, what's going on. And so there's some pretty graphic, intense stuff, and they actually warn you about this up front when you start the game. It's like, hey, there's some graphic scenes and stuff like that. And so some of these movies will have scenes of murder or rape or sexual assault, regular assault, and different things like that. And I don't know how it all ties together, but at some point, I guess it's, from what I've heard and from what I've read, it's supposed to click and all come together, and you have like this big aha moment of whatever. And I haven't got that point yet. So, but up to this point, it's still been kind of entertaining and fun to kind of walk through these, but you never kind of know when you're moving from clip to clip, like what you're gonna get next. Like you never know where it's gonna go. Like I clicked on this cross, like somebody's wearing a cross, or there's actually a priest in one of the shows and one of the movies, and you click on like the cross that he's wearing and it takes you to something else in some other movie, and then you watch that clip and slowly you start to kind of learn the plot of these movies, which has been kind of interesting.
Can you not click on anything and watch the movie straight through, or
no? I mean, you watch the clip
Yeah.
And the thing is like when you, so say I click on the orange, like it'll take me to a part of another clip. It may not be the beginning of the clip, so you have to scrub backwards, rewind it, restart it. And it's like very well produced. Like the acting is very well done. Like it's very believable. Like it's very high production values. And I think that Dale, you would probably say that her story, like it was very strong performances by the actress and things like that in that game. And I think that holds true here. Like this is a full on production. Like they would have had to have. And this is like an FMV game, right? It's all live video footage, but it's interesting. It's I don't really quite know what to make about it. I am playing it. It is on Game Pass, so it's free to check out. I always was kind of interested in her story and that whole concept, but never was willing to pull the trigger to pick it up, And so this game being on Game Pass, like, it's a no-brainer. I always wanted to kind of try one of these out and see how it is. It seems to be a pretty well put together one of those games. I just don't know really what to think of it yet. But Immortality is the name of the
her
game.
story was pretty unique. I haven't played this or Telling Lies, so I don't really know if they've made like a little genre out of it or what. But certainly, her story was very different from anything else I've ever played. But I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, it's a good one. So the three names of the movies: Ambrosio, Minsky, and Two of Everything. So you're trying to solve the mystery of what happened to this actress by watching.
So what's the immortality? Is it that
I don't have no idea.
You're immortal on film or something?
I don't know. I have no idea what that means.
Well, I've got something that kind of dovetails into that a little bit, because it is also a mystery and it also spans the bounds of immortality, I guess. I played a game called Genesis Noir, which is also on Game Pass. And I will admit, partly the reason that I'm interested in it is they pressed the soundtrack to vinyl, and I was like, what is this? And it said noir, so I'm like, oh, it's going to be like super jazzy and whatever. It's a really interesting game, sort of design wise and kind of visually. The concept is also kind of interesting. So the idea is that it is blending the idea of a sort of a film noir kind of mystery, smoking gun kind of
detective.
Detective, kind of with like a one of those what are those hats, those, not a fedora, but whatever it is that the Sam Spade would wear, whatever, and trench coat and whatever, all of that.
I think that would be a fedora, wouldn't it?
Maybe it's a fedora. I don't know. I didn't ever really watch a lot of noir movies, I guess. But they take this and what they do is they sort of make it a kind of a creation myth kind of idea, because Genesis, it's literally actually talking about. So it kind of does this from a sort of Big Bang Theory kind of like, if the world were created by an explosive output of energy spontaneously before the annals of time, and also it were a noir detective murder mystery.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Which is
How
like
do those
kind of
things mesh
no,
together?
they don't. And actually, honestly, as I played the game, so it's I think it's pretty short, but I think I'm right toward the end. And they recently, here's the thing that kind of tripped me up on this. I think I would have actually finished it, except they recently dispersed a content update, so there are like extra levels now. But the interface for the game, so the look of the game and the interface kind of are tied together. The game plays around a lot with transparency, meaning like seeing through things, or opacity, like not being able to see through things, but with a very limited color palette. So it does a lot of like grays and blues, highlighted by some gold, like stars, or maybe some bright whites sometimes. But it does, like, if I'm trying to think, how would I describe this? Like the opening of something like Mad Men, but the game shifts perspectives a lot. So this cosmic Sam Spade, I don't even know the character's name, because there's a couple of them, a couple of characters here. There's Golden Boy and Miss Mass, and I guess somehow the
name is No Man. Apparently,
no man. Okay,
you play as No Man.
They don't really tell you that. So he's kind of like discovering how this murder mystery, Miss Mass, I guess, who is supposed to be the analog for I don't know about Big Bang Theory, like the marble-sized infinite mass cube that explodes or whatever happens in this theory. Yeah, I guess because and then there's Golden Boy who is like and she's like a jazzy club singer or something. She's and everything is like super stylized and whatever. And then there's
Mhm.
Golden Boy who's like this prodigy, like really hot saxophone player with a big pompadour like haircut, and he's like some kind of jealous lover kind of character. And so at the very beginning of the game, he goes and he's going to shoot her with like this like tachyon particle gun or something. It's like a gun, but it shoots out like this wave of whatever, and the action pauses, and then you as the detective no man, I guess, sort of go through and he is Golden Boy is like this analog for like black holes or the creative self discovery of the universe, or I don't know what. But
All right,
then
I've got a
you
question for you, a very
okay
serious one.
okay
Is this
okay
game
okay
kind of up its own butt, or is it okay?
well, so in the sense that I've never really been super clear about what's going on, kind of, but also if you consider like the noir genre, like it's pretty like it's almost a parody of its own self, right? So kind of, but usually in those cases they're trying to like I don't know, tell you something about the deep meaning of whatever. In this case, it's sort of the game spans kind of the unknowable cosmic forces and creative, destructive, whatever. And then it kind of goes into this idea of and there are like title cards kind of in between levels where it's like, oh, and then no one knows how proteins did whatever, but then they did it. And then you play a level where you sort of help proteins like evolve or whatever, but some of
Hmm.
them don't and some of them do. So it definitely is kind of using this idea of life spontaneously generating and stuff like that. And maybe noir mystery is somehow the creative juice behind. I don't know. But then the game also takes a few detours, and these might be the content updates. It doesn't really tell you where the main story is and where the side quests are, but then eventually you get into like humans, like early tribal humans and stuff like that. And every level is a little different. Like the interface is not consistent. Like you're not playing a character that walks around all the time. In fact, very often the perspective shifts and you're playing something like Mist, where you just have a cursor that you can highlight spots, and then you do something clever. And the game really is pretty various and really kind of elegant sometimes with the way that you interact with it. But you're not doing a lot of skills. You're not like, you don't have to get good to play this. It is mostly leading you through, and you might get a little bit stumped sometimes, but generally it'll take you through it. And there is like a jazz kind of saxophone vocal era appropriate soundtrack for that, and it's kind of cool. But it's difficult to describe what it looks like because it just does a lot of perspective
Looks
shifting, and
cool. I mean,
you
watching these
can
videos
yeah,
looks
you
neat.
can see through things in a moment and then not see through them, and it obscures something, and then you have to interact with it to kind of like show, how you peek out from behind nothingness and there you are, or something like that. I mean, it's you might be able to get kind of what I'm describing from it. But I have not solved the murder mystery yet, and I think I got to like the very last level. So I don't know how it ends, but I think I'm going to go after we finish, and I'll just like wrap it up. The levels themselves are anywhere between maybe 15 minutes at the outside, like if you really have trouble with one, which I did. And
Hmm.
then every time you leave one of these levels, it's like, oh, and then a billion years later, whatever, and then you have a kind of a souvenir from each level that you're using to try to prevent the untimely demise of Miss Mass in this frozen moment in time, I guess, using Golden Boy's black hole generating abilities against him somehow.
Hmm.
But there's a lot of side quests though. So like while this is going on, it's like, no, I think I'm gonna like go into like ancient cultures and learn, come up with some speculative star maps of constellations and things. That seems like a good idea. But all of the levels are unique. They're interesting. I found myself not really getting bored because I was kind of curious to see like what is the, are they going to make a statement here? Is it going to be some, what am I getting out of each of these? But to your question, Legrand, I don't know that it's necessarily. It's not like Annapurna does some stuff like that sometimes, and I actually really dig those. Annapurna is one of my favorite publishers of recent years, but I don't think that this is preachy in that way where it's like, oh, life really matters, or whatever it is that they try and tell you. But it's mostly just kind of walking you through kind of this Big Bang theory of self-generating whatever, and then people come from it and they hunt elks and stuff like that. So I do feel like at some point it kind of overstays its thematic welcome a little bit, and it zooms in, and the idea is that this no man dude is like some invisible yet present force of, he's always like exploring things and like
Isn't it
looking at stuff.
interesting how games do that sometimes? Where, like, for example, another example based on what you just said about the game overstaying its stylized welcome, like Unfinished Swan was another game just like that, where at some point you're like, okay, I get it. You're leaning so hard on this style.
But then they change it, you know, because at the beginning it's like, oh, I'm going to use these globs to find the way.
I mean, same thing. It's the same.
Yeah. You're shooting globs the whole time. Yeah. But that actually tied into What Remains of Edith Finch, so it automatically is awesome and good.
Sure.
So yeah. Anyhow, so this is short and it's interesting to look at, and even if none of the rest of it is really interesting to you, I think it's a cool little experience.
So most of the reviews say is on looks awesome, kind of boring, or whatever.
Yeah, I don't even know that it's boring necessarily.
Not boring, but you know what I mean.
But here's another thing. I think this is better than the equivalent non-interactive animation of the same thing. You know, like it is better because of the interactivity that it has. Although content-wise, would it be a lot different? I don't know. But that
otherwise it would be like a weird short film.
Right, exactly. But I think that based on its interactivity, I think it actually is a more interesting experience. And again, it is short, and I would say give it a shot. It's also on Game Pass. So that's 2 Game Pass games this week.
Well, I've got this game is also one that's free. It has been free over the last week on the Epic Game Store. And it is also a unique, I don't know, indie type of thing.
I've never seen anything like this.
I've been playing 100 Days, which is a winemaking simulator, I think, according to the billing. And I thought, well, that sounds interesting. And, you know, I was like, I'd like to play something, you know, new for the upcoming podcast. So it's like, all right, I'll check this out a few days.
I'm so glad you did, because I was like, ooh, do I want to play this? It looks really interesting. So I'm really glad. I want to hear about this.
Well, yeah, I think it's kind of cool. So what it turns out to be is it's more like a 4X game, like a Civ.
Oh man, I hope you can dominate the other wineries, the other vineyards.
Well, I'm not sure if you can. There's also a story campaign. I don't know if a campaign is the right word for it, but there is a story that it's a little bit of a drama that's unfolding at the same time as you're developing your winery. But I guess to set it up, the game begins like so many, I don't know, Under the Tuscan Sun style like novels or movies, like where Russell Crowe inherits a winery and has to figure it out. Where you're playing this character Emma, and she lives in London. She like works a boring job in an office, and then she gets this like letter from like this mysterious benefactor.
Oh, it's a Stardew Valley opening.
Also, every Hallmark movie ever.
No, exactly. That's kind of exactly what it is. And it's like somebody that like maybe is like a distant relative that she met once or twice before. And anyway, he's this like renowned wine vintner, I guess. What's the word?
Oh yeah, that's right.
In like somewhere in, I guess, northern Italy or somewhere.
The sparkling region of.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so he's like retiring or dying. It's not really explicit, but he's like leaving the winery to her. Or it's kind of like I hope you'll come and take over and, you know, learn the craft or whatever sort of situation. And of course she does, because that's what sets you up as playing the game. And so you get there and you're like, your benefactor has passed on. But they have gone ahead and arranged for you to, like, all the local people in the village are going to come by and check in on you and offer you advice, you know, including some of like the real like mentor winery people around that area, right? Because obviously it's a winemaking region, you know. And so you have these kind of like, you know, tutorial style encounters with people that'll pop up, and they'll be like, oh, you know, well, in this season because this game progresses by seasons. It's a turn-based progression thing, sort of like a city builder, like again, like an empire builder, like a Civ or sort of thing. And you know how those progress through the seasons.
Right, right.
This does the same thing, and it's something like maybe 3 turns per season or something. Um, but uh, but yeah, so the way that the game is laid out, like the interface, it shows you a little grid in the middle of the. So it shows you like this pastoral scene of like the kind of like local environs of your winery and the local lands and stuff. And there's a few little buildings you can click on. There's like a tool shed and a warehouse and the actual winery itself. And you can click on those on the map and it'll zoom in and you can kind of see like here are your assets that you have. You have like different machines that are used for crushing the grapes or doing the bottling or doing the fermenting or whatever it is. Or you have like a tractor if it's in the, I guess that would be in like the tool shed. And you have all these little things. But then also what's displayed on the map are your actual vineyards, and they each have a name, which I thought was interesting. So the first one you get is called Briccio or Briccio. It's like Bricco maybe. And then later on you'll unlock a second one, and that one's called Principe. And But anyway, in the middle of the screen, not taking up much of the screen, but like, we'll call it a good 20% of the screen in the middle, there's a grid of squares that you use to play cards. And the cards are things like harvest grapes, ferment grapes, plant new grapes, clean out your tank after you've done your fermenting, or clean out your bottling machine or whatever. And all these cards, when you play them on the grid, they turn into Tetris shapes. And so it's a game of putting your Tetris shapes out there in such a way that they, you can get as many in there, you can cram as many actions in as you can, and then they give you a turn counter on each one. So if you put like bottling down, it'll be like a variable turn thing, because obviously when you have wine that you're going to bottle, um, how you bottle it and like how long you leave it in the bottles before you sell it has like an effect on the quality of the wine and stuff.
Hmm.
But so that's a decision that you make when you decide to do the bottling, and then that can affect how many turns you're going to have that Tetris piece on your grid while it counts down the action until the action expires or finishes, and then goes away, and then you free up that little bit of your Tetris grid back again. So think of it kind of like as I keep saying Tetris. It's more like, I mean, they do use like Tetris style shapes, but it's
Right.
more like Resident Evil inventory Tetris,
Right.
where you're trying to fit things together.
So do they get used up all at the same time? Is that, and
Yeah, they
then
do.
when they time out?
So if you put like 3 or 4 things down on your grid, and maybe a couple of them last for 2 turns, one of them only lasts for 1 turn. Then when you hit the end turn button, it'll cycle, and then one of them will expire and
Then
go
they'll
away,
just
and
drop
the
off.
others will the other 2 will count down 1 turn. And so that's kind of, if you look at screenshots, you would think that's the meat of the game right there. That's the core mechanic, but it's not really so. That's really only kind of a smaller part of what's going on, because the meat of the game, the actual gameplay, aside from the developing drama that's going along, because every so often, every few turns, you'll get like a little cutscene between what to begin with seem like random characters, but then you kind of like realize how they sort of all fit together, or they like so when you first move in to the villa,
Mhm.
you meet this lady. I think her name's Anna. She's kind of like the local busybody slash friendly neighbor sort of person, and she knows all the people around. So like if you need a contact for something in your business, like she'll be the person who knows how to get you that contact. And these are not like role-playing decisions you make. This is just stuff that happens in cutscenes, right?
Mhm.
And then you have like your kind of standoffish mentor, like Mr. Miyagi sort of person, who is like a little bit like hard, what's the word, like tough love learning or whatever.
Yeah, kinda hard nose.
Kind of, yeah, exactly. And then you have a few other characters. You have this guy Satoshi who runs a local wine bar, and so when you produce your first batch, you can or anytime you produce a new batch, really, you can send it over to Satoshi's wine bar for like a tasting, and then you'll get like the quality of your wine will be out evaluated. And man, there's a lot of stuff in this game actually.
What are
It's
the
just,
variables that make a wine good or bad? Like, do you know?
well, there's
Or
like 10 of them. And there's like 10 different types of wine also. So to begin with, I made this one called a Barbera. Have you ever heard of Barbera
Barbera?
wine? Barbera? Yeah, I don't know.
Hanna-Barbera?
It's spelled like that. So the first type of wine that you can make is this Barbera wine because you only have one field to begin with. And after you make a couple of batches and sell through those batches, because um, thinking about it, man, there's a lot of stuff in this game. It really is kind of like a 4X of like, building your wine empire. I'll leave aside the like story stuff because that's kind of the part that I'm like just sort of clicking through and not really paying attention to because it doesn't really have much effect on anything as far as I can tell. Um, but as you progress through the seasons, you go through these different actions of like planting the fields. You can spray them for like pesticides and stuff. And I'm not sure exactly when that's called for at this point because I haven't learned like I guess the signs of what's going to cause an infection on the vines on the grapes. Um, but I know that that is something you can do. You can like examine your fields, and there'll be like an option for treatments. And there's two different types of like mildew things that you can try to prevent against, and then there's three or four types of there's like mites of some sort,
Hmm.
like maybe aphids or something, and then there's like a few other sorts of like blights or whatever that you can try to combat. But basically, what'll happen is over time you'll get to the harvest, and you pull the grapes off of the vines, and then you crush the grapes, right? So you lay the crushed grapes, turn tile down on the grid for a turn or two, and then you're making all these decisions as you do this. So like when you decide to crush the grapes, you decide like 4 or 5 different levels of crushedness, and what that's going to do is it's going to give you more and or less tannins in your finished product, which
Hmm.
tannins is like kind of like it's like the
It's like
weird
the
feeling on
bitters.
your tongue that you get sometimes. And so when you produce a wine and it goes to the testers, they come back and they rate you on, like I said, it's 10 different things. So there's like body, sweetness, acidity, tannins. I think those are kind of like the main ones. And then there's a few other things too that they'll rate you on. And oh, your fields all have like it tells you the geographic geologic makeup of the field. So
Yeah,
it's
dude,
like
like what's in the soil
clay,
and yeah.
sand, loam, and it gives you like percentages of all these. It's like how acidic is it? What's your facing? So it's like southeast facing, northeast facing. It's the acidity, like the pH of the soil, and all this stuff comes into effect because you're choosing like one of like 10 different grapes to plant in each of these fields, right? So you choose the grapes, you choose where they go. All this stuff comes into play. So when you've harvested the grapes, now you got your variables on how you're crushing them, how you're fermenting them. Are you aging them in casks before you bottle them? How you bottle them, you can design the bottle. You can get like different shapes of bottles. You can have clear, green, brown.
What is
You can
this
design your
game?
label.
No, you know
It's
what? As you're describing this, I have made the decision. I'm gonna learn how to play this game, and I've got an acquaintance, I've got a professional
Oh
acquaintance
yeah, you
who
were
is
saying.
completely into this, and
Yeah.
that's the stuff that he loves. Like, I don't know much about wine, but I know that, like, is it a north-facing vineyard? Is it an
Mm-hmm.
east-facing vineyard? You know, what is the composition of the soil like you're talking about? Like, he will talk about that and how, like, how long you oxygenate it. Like, they
Yeah,
should have,
yeah.
like, a tasting add-on to this so
Oh,
that you can,
oh,
like
Jeremy, there's different ways you can ferment. There's mallofloric fermenting or whatever it's called, and then there's like the traditional style of fermenting.
and the
Yeah,
thing is, this guy, he's got, and you know, it's fine. He's got like a touch of Asperger's or something, but he loves like the details. Like
I
he
think he might really
loves the
like this game.
details. I am gonna figure this out, and the next time I'm gonna see him is gonna be like in February, and I'm gonna be like, hey, Doc, come check this
Check this
out. And
out.
and
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, and I'm not gonna tell him it's a game. I'm gonna tell him this is a wine making
Simulator.
simulator.
That's exactly
And
what it is. You know what it is? It really is a 4X game. You know how in like Endless Space or like Alpha Centauri, how you can go down to like the point where you're like designing the
right.
army units or whatever, and
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
like
yeah.
put the little insignias on them and
Yeah.
like shape how the little rovers look and stuff. Like that's what you can do that with like the wine bottles and the
Okay.
labels in this game.
I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play this.
You You know how in I guess it's Destiny or like a Forza or something, you can like design your like uh insignia or whatever
Yeah,
to
yeah,
go on your
your
armor or your
Velocity
car.
Girl user-generated
Yeah,
content.
yeah, 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 you have that for your wine bottle label, and then you can
Wow.
name your vineyard or whatever. I called my vineyard One Tower Fields because there's like a, you know, traditional medieval looking castle sort of motif that you can put on
Is
your
is it
labels.
is it have you tried starting more than one game? Is it the same? Do you get the same exact setup every time, or
Well, you have different options. So I'm just playing so far. I'm just playing the story mode, but
Right.
there's also like the like, you know, endless mode, which I'm assuming just takes out all the extraneous story stuff and lets you play the game.
Hmm.
And then there's like
Probably
there's
objectives, like make the perfect bottle of wine or
yeah, well, I
whatever.
mean that comes up anyway because again, there's a lot of stuff in this game. You have these people that come along and want to buy your wine every turn, and you have normal customers which come in like 3 or 4 different flavors. You've got like private people, you got supermarkets, and you got restaurants, and they all buy with different levels of discount and in different volumes. And get this, if you sell too much to a supermarket, you'll get like a nasty review in the next like quarterly magazine that comes out and says, well, this vineyard is obviously just trying to go for the lowest common denominator. And you know, you can get their stuff cheap at the supermarket.
Right.
Whereas if you sell to individual buyers, they'll only buy like, you know, 1 to maybe 50 bottles at a time, but they'll pay a little bit more, right? Or you can sell to a restaurant and they'll buy an amount that's sort of in the middle, and for like, you know, for a discount amount that's sort of in the
Right, a
middle.
wholesale, yeah.
But then what also comes up is you have a warehouse and you only have a certain amount of rack space in the warehouse, and that depends on how many racks you've bought, how many bottles you've produced, how much stuff you got going on. So like in a
So
recent
you have
turn that I was playing
logistics
it,
that you've gotta
yeah,
deal with
yeah,
too.
I was thinking like, you know, I was just selling as much as possible for a while, and then I got like one of those nasty reviews, and I was like, I'm gonna have to start selling only to the private buyers for the highest price to drive up my image, right? But then I got to a point where I was producing a new batch of wine, and I wasn't gonna have enough room in the warehouse for the bottles. So
Oh,
on the
no.
next turn, I was like, all right, everything must go. We're just gonna sell as much to, you know, whoever wants to buy it, and to clean out some room in the warehouse before I. Because the other thing is, I ran out of money at one where I had like miscalculated something, or I went and bought a bunch of new infrastructure before looking at my quarterly numbers or whatever. So I had to take a loan out from the bank, and so I have a mortgage basically that I'm paying down at the same time as doing all this other stuff. And it
Sounds
turns
like a
out to be
job,
actually really
man.
cool. It's
I think it sounds
it's a
like
very cool
like
game.
Sim Farm or some of those, you know, like or you know, Farm Simulator, or I wonder if this is like, do you have to place your new buildings and stuff? Do you have to like clear land and figure
No,
out where you're
you don't really do that sort of thing. There it seems like there are about like maybe 8 fields that you can be owning and operating, and I've only got 2 unlocked at this point.
so the fields and everything are just preset. It's just whether you have access to them or not, I guess.
Yeah, at least in the sort of campaign story mode that I'm going through.
Right.
If you
I'm gonna
start at
totally play
like
this.
if you start like a skirmish game, quote unquote, you could probably have more access to more stuff right up
I
front.
love that. I wish you
Um,
could hire like troops and like go stomp everybody's grapes.
Well, I've
That's
gotten to
what
this
they
point in
want
the
you to do.
story where there's a little bit of drama, right? Because like there's like it turns out that your mentor has like a dark past where like he and his brother had a winery and they had like the winery got burned down, and it's like, did he
Whoa.
burn it down or did he not burn it down? Was it an accident? Was it on purpose?
Then you click
And
on the
then,
bowl of grapes and it'll take you to another scene where
Oh my gosh.
but I would say yeah, I really recommend this. Check it out. It's, you know, it's probably not free anymore by the time you,
It is as of
but
today.
if you grabbed
right.
it when it was free,
If you're on
it's
the
cool.
Game Bytes Show Discord server where we let you know about these things as they happen, you would have this by now.
Yeah.
True.
Just saying.
No.
Just
That's a
saying.
true
That's
her
cool.
story. Well, I've got some new releases here, courtesy of tech-gaming.com. NBA 2K3 is out.
Mm-hmm.
2K23.
2K23.
2K23. Yes. It's out.
Yes.
There's a
AKA
game called
NBA 30K.
Temtem, which nobody really knows what that is.
No, Temtem looks good. It looks like the Pokemon that I've wanted
Pokemon.
for a long time, and it's an
think you're a
MMO. It's like all
liar.
built in. No, it's going to be great. You should look at it, and it like actually looks good. And I've heard there are some really like cool systems. You fight with 2 monsters at the same time, and you can do like all kinds of like combo attacks and things.
Looks dumb.
It looks
I'm out.
good. No, it looks good. Hey, but I tell you what, it's not Pal World, which is the one I'm really waiting for, because on that one you can shoot machine guns and shoot the Pokemon with like AK-47s.
Gratuitous violence.
Geodude is unaffected by your machine guns. Splatoon 3 also out this way. I think it's already out, so get that if you like that. We have some Destiny guns that are coming out. Our source in the bowels of Bungie, he's kind of like the intern that's been disregarded, and he's kind of pissed, so he just keeps leaking this stuff to us, which is fine. So there's a gun coming out called "You Suck at Parking."
I feel like that one is
it's like the road rage gun, you know. It's just it's like a Glock. It just sits in a.
Yeah, I was thinking pistol.
Goes in the glove compartment.
Yes, it's in the glove compartment.
Yeah.
For when people suck at parking, you can shoot their cars. Last Beat Enhanced.
Bow?
I like that.
Sounds like a bow. I don't know.
A bow, huh? Bow. Okay.
It's a sequel to just Last Beat, which was
The Hand of Glory. This is definitely a Destiny gun, and I think it's a hand cannon for sure. Yeah, and it's a good one too. BPM, bullets per minute. That's what BPM stands for.
Assault rifle, right?
Assault rifle, but it's like the extra high fire rate.
It's like that minigun. Is there only one of those miniguns? Is that like just a special one?
No, I think there's a minigun type.
Yeah, this would probably be one of those.
I don't remember. I'll be honest with you. And
there's
finally,
one that would like raise up thunder balls every time you hit somebody with them. It's pretty cool.
Wind of Shuriken.
Wind
also
of
out.
Shuriken.
I don't know.
They've got swords. It looks like it's a sword.
Yeah, probably.
As of right now, also you can get a free month of Ubisoft Plus if that's something you are down to get.
I did the free week and then didn't actually use it. But I tried to. I
don't know what I would play on it. There's nothing I would play on it.
I kind of went and looked, and I was sort of like, yeah.
You never finished Assassin's Creed Unity, probably, right?
Me? I got pretty far in that one.
You know, I did on the Amazon Gaming. They were doing one of the games they are giving away this month is Assassin's Creed Egypt Origins, I guess it is.
That's a good one.
Instead of playing the game, I'm not going to play the game. I'm just going to do the history tour. So I actually started doing that. I don't think I'm going to play the game, but I'm going to learn a lot about like Alexandria or whatever.
Yeah,
I think you should play the game. That game's really good.
Origins.
I'm still in the middle of it. I like it.
So am I.
Maybe I will.
I get back to it every once in a while and play a little bit, and it's always good. Yeah.
There is some news and stuff going on out in the world. This week, Disney did a bunch of things. They announced a bunch of TV shows and a bunch of other things, but there were some games that came out of it. One of them is a Marvel sort of Pokemon Go style AR game called World of Heroes. I guess we can add this to the pile of games that will last 6 to 8 months and then kind of go away.
I'm not going to bother with this one.
Yeah, I actually the last one I tried because I was like, well, maybe it'll be cool. I did try the Harry Potter one, and it was fine and it was good, but I'm just like, it's just a lot of extra work when I'm walking around. Like I just don't really want to do that. Also, Dale alerted me to this one, but also announced at the D23 Tron Identity. Yeah, which
my gosh, Jeremy's so excited all of a sudden.
Another noir.
Kind of right.
Yeah.
It's
Tron Noir, perfect.
That's right. That's right. And you defragment other programs' identity disks, I guess, to learn the truth of whatever is going on the grid. Mike Bithell is doing it, which I'm trying to think what that dude is famous for. Thomas was alone. Thomas was alone. That's right. Yep, Thomas was alone.
Like the subsurface circular.
So I don't know if this will be like a small scale, like Tron Runner was a thing that I always thought it looked interesting, but I'm just not into endless runners. They also had I'm not clear whether this is a physical only or it'll probably come to digital eventually, but a game called Lorcana, which is basically a Magic the Gathering kind of rip-off sort of game with Disney characters, and honestly, it looks like it could be all right. Just kind of looking at it, because Magic the Gathering just has like a bunch of just stuff from all over. Like there's no consistency.
They just actually do a Magic with Disney crossover. I mean, they're doing a Magic with D&D, Magic with 40K, Magic.
But I guess if you're Disney though, Disney doesn't want to do that stuff anymore. They just
Disney license everything all the time, everywhere.
Yeah. Well, this time
wouldn't do Magic.
Mm. There's also a sort of Mickey Mouse Cuphead style game that's based on that newish Mickey Mouse cartoon. If you've seen it, it's kind of like an old timey looking style. This one's called Disney Illusion Island, and it looks like Cuphead. It looks like it actually could be pretty cool.
Hmm.
And then the last thing that I saw out of it,
Gargoyles.
yeah, was the Gargoyles Sega Genesis game is getting a
Wow.
remaster,
What?
which I think they're going to be doing a Gargoyles TV show at some point. I
I
think they've
don't
announced
remember
it.
there being a Gargoyles game. I just remember the cartoon. It was cool.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, the thing I remember about the Gargoyles cartoon was that it always had all of these alumni from Star Trek: The Next Generation,
Hmm.
like Riker. That dude was one of the
Oh,
main
yeah?
characters. Michael Dorn was someone like all kinds of people were in that. Marina Sirtis, I think, was in there somewhere.
Hmm.
So anyhow, some stuff coming in from Disney eventually. Also, I thought this was kind of interesting because we've been talking for quite a number of months here about large companies absorbing and buying other kind of large and well-known companies.
Yeah.
And usually it's been like, well, you know, Bethesda games will continue to be on all platforms, but maybe not Starfield or whatever. But this is the first time that I've actually heard of a company kind of like getting their hackles up a little bit. And this time it's Sony, who was not really happy with the way that that Microsoft described what is going to happen with the Call of Duty franchise. So, if
Hmm.
Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard, they had indicated that the series would remain multi-platform for the remainder of the current contract between Activision and PlayStation to provide those games. So they wouldn't
Yeah, which
change that.
ends next week.
Yeah, right. And so Phil Spencer has indicated that that might continue, but uh, the reaction from Sony was not was not real happy. Jim Ryan said in a statement to GamesIndustry.biz, "I hadn't intended to comment on what I understood to be a private business discussion, but I feel the need to set the record straight because Phil Spencer brought this into the public forum. He said that basically that their multi-platform deal is inadequate. Like what the comments that they're making about it remaining are unacceptable to them. Which I don't know what you do about it, but I guess you buy Bungie and
You
really.
trade them your Destiny for Call of Duty? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you do. I don't know. But anyway, so it's kind of, everybody's sort of been like kind of like playing kind of nice, just like kind of jabbing a little bit, but not really like, ooh. But this time, it seems to me like Jim Ryan was really expressing some, kind of some hurt over this. So I guess we'll kind of have to see how it goes. But there is. Let me just be clear. There is nothing that would stop Microsoft from straight up just not putting those games on those platforms, other than the money that they would be leaving on the table to do that. But
Right.
they could totally just do it. And what's Sony gonna do? Nothing. Nothing.
Exactly.
This week, though, actually tomorrow, as of this recording, so we don't know yet. But if you're listening to this in the can, then not on the can, but maybe on the can. If you're listening to this on the can,
Feel free.
you may know. Yeah, exactly. I'll play a little bit of some water noise for you just to kind of get things going. But Sony will be holding a State of Play event tomorrow, and rumors are abounding that they will be announcing a AAA style game based on reports from a kind of a well-known and accurate leaker in the past.
Hmm.
This is going to be about 20 minutes and will feature footage from about 10 games across the PlayStation brand, PS5, PS4, and PlayStation VR 2. So we may see some more, since we do have some information about their next VR iteration, we may see something here about that as well. So that is coming
Wonder what that
tomorrow.
could be.
Yeah, many things. Maybe by the time you're listening to this, you can tell us. So, send us a message in Discord and tell us that we're stupid because we don't know. However, also scheduled for the same day is a Nintendo Direct, which will focus principally on games that are coming to Nintendo's. I was going to say Nintendo platforms, but Nintendo's platform now basically this winter. Which I actually heard. So here's the funny thing about this: Nintendo UK. We didn't talk about this at all. The Queen of England died, guys.
Not huge gaming news.
Long live King Charles. Yeah, she had that golden Wii though. Now people are going to be
Um,
searching to see where is the Queen's golden Wii, because it's been lost in the shuffle as
It's a
the
treasure that's
royalties,
going to be
the
pillaged
monarchy
by
has
some
changed.
future
Nicolas
war.
Cage is going out to get it. or I don't know.
Some
Tom Holland is
country
making
150 years from now is going to invade Britain, and that's where they're going to carry off the spoils
for
of
the
war.
Golden Wii on a big
Yeah.
palanquin.
Yep.
But the key here, the kicker is that Nintendo UK, as a mark of respect during this period of national mourning, we will not live stream tomorrow's Nintendo Direct. It will be published as a video on demand. Yeah. So adding some insult to injury, there is no comfort for these people in this time of their national distress. God save the king, King Charles. Charles III. We're now in the Carolingian dynasty, guys.
Great.
And it's opening with no Nintendo live streams.
Elizabethan era is closed. Now my new best friend is Carolingian era.
Yeah,
the Merovingian.
The Merovingian era.
Friendship ended with Monica Bellucci.
Yeah. Man, she was good in that. So since we are now officially I don't know, I liked her. She's fine.
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
Because we are all about the Netflix game platform here on the Game Bytes Show podcast, where we comprise a majority stakeholder in this platform. We just thought we would update you to let you know that some series from Ubisoft. Ubisoft has announced an expansion of their partnership, which came with the live-action Assassin's Creed series that's still coming to Netflix. But they are going to be adding to the Netflix gaming platform, the mobile gaming platform, games that are exclusive to Netflix, and they're from their series, including Valiant Hearts, Assassin's Creed, and Mighty Quest, which I think is the Quest for Epic Loot, or whatever, Mighty Quest for Epic Loot.
What's Valiant
like
Hearts?
It's something that kind of looks like World War I-ish.
I tried to play it once. It's kind of was boring.
Was that the title? Valiant Hearts?
Valiant Hearts subtitle something.
Okay, yeah,
something like that.
It wasn't very good.
No.
I really liked the style, and I was like, I really like this game, and I can't remember where I got it. I didn't pay for it, I don't think. Valiant Hearts: The Great War is what it's called.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And it was just kind of boring, or maybe slow. It was like a point-and-click adventure game that was like a 2D. I don't know. It came out in 2014. Like, it's not a new game. You know?
Oh man, that's been a while.
They're going to get a new one now. And then finally, for our regular news, some leaked Overwatch 2 details show that there's going to be a big change coming to that game series, which one of the main draws to it when it originally came out was that you could play all heroes anytime and change between them during a match. But according to sources, Overwatch 2 leaks show that some heroes will be locked behind battle passes. Womp womp.
It's not going to be a paid game, right? It's like a free to play.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess
it's free to play.
Yeah.
I think they're talking about like maybe like some of the single player stuff might be paid. I don't know idea. But
I mean, if there's PvE, like I'd be interested in PvE.
I thought Overwatch was really good when it came out, and then I haven't played it in.
I played a ton in the beta, and then never played it really after it came out.
The only time I ever got a play of the game was in the beta, like ever, the entire time, and I've never have since. I peaked right before the game came out. And guys, that's going to do it for our regular news. We're going to burn through the speed run before Legrand passes out. I can see him going right now. Honestly,
Splatoon 3 has the best Switch launch in Japan ever.
Oh my gosh, my niece really into Splatoon 2, so I think she probably picked it up.
Nice.
I like Splatoon. It's good.
EA is opening a new studio called Ridgeline, which will be exclusively formed to make narrative games set in the Battlefield universe.
Huh. Okay. Square Enix has joined the blockchain.
Ubisoft was just kidding about joining the blockchain. They've backed out.
Also, Ubisoft AAA games, they're going to adopt the $70 price point for video games.
That's hardly a surprise at this point, with inflation and all, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Amazon reveals they cancel the prospective Lord of the Rings MMO because it just got kind of complicated.
Yeah. And it would have just closed within.
Nobody plays MMOs these days anyway.
I wonder how New World is doing. Is anyone still?
I hear that they've been coming out with content updates, and I don't know. I'm sure there's a community around it. It's like any game.
Yeah. Well, the first video game studio officially to unionize has now closed. That's Vodio Games, and I guess it's sort of a ha-ha, but also I think they closed because they couldn't get deals that were good for the studio.
Were they really like the first video game studio to ever unionize?
I think so, yes. And I'd never heard of them until they closed, but
is it like they unionized back in like 1987 and they just now closed?
No, I think the whole unionizing movement has just been happening in the last couple of years. So I suspect that it's something that's pretty recent. And then I think the unfortunate fact is the video game studios closed. They just,
I don't know who Vodio.
I don't think it necessarily has anything to do with the unionizing itself, but they're the first, and now they're not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's nothing in the next bullet point. I'll go into the bullet point after that. Unreleased Meta VR head found after being left in hotel. Well, that's a good thing, I guess.
It's just a question of whether it was on purpose or not. Maybe
like, you remember when that iPhone that time was like left in a bar, and it was like the prototype for that year that was going to come out like 6 months later.
Prognosticating everybody leaving their phones accidentally in any given place.
Yeah. Remember that one guy left like that thumbstick with like a bunch of porn on it at medieval times?
Oh yeah.
Was that, what's his name from Gearbox?
Yeah, that was
Pitchford, Randy Pitchford.
Randy Pitchford, yeah.
Oh, brother.
Medieval times.
Oh, guys, that is going to do it for Speedrun. That is going to do it for this episode of your Game Bytes Show podcast. I want to thank you for being with us the whole time. My co-host, graciously, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it very much. Guys, if you've got any thoughts about games that we've played, you want to comment on that. If you want to become a wine magnate, or perhaps you want to tap a bowl of fruit, something like that, let us know about that. You can find us on social media. Let us know all about it. You can find us collectively at Game Bytes Show on Twitter. You can also reach out to us individually. I am at Jeremy_Lamont. I
am on Twitter at Legrand.
And I am at Count Elmdor.
You can find our fourth man, Jared Red-Eye Dunn, at RED_I. You can find us at youtube.com/GameBytes Show, where this thing is live. Girls. Actually, it's all guys. It's us. Sorry.
Guys.
Hit the subscribe button, hit that bell, be notified when we go live. Maybe on our channel, maybe on Legrand's channel. Who knows? It's a spinning the roulette wheel.
No, it's on the real channel today.
He's got it figured out. Yeah. You can also find us at GameBytesShow.com. The back catalog of all of our syndicated podcasts are there. Lots of good content going back a number of years, and they're all exciting. They're all great. So hit the roulette wheel on that too. Find something. We should add something that'll do that. Just like play a random episode. Wouldn't that be cool?
The Google, like, I'm feeling lucky button,
for the Game Bytes Show episode. Yeah, I like that. On GameBytesShow.com, you can also find an open invitation to our Discord server, where you can come and hang out with us every day, any given day. We're around somewhere, and you can be our best friend ever on Discord. Folks, that is going to do it for this episode of your Game Bytes Show podcast. I want to thank you so much for being with us, and we will see you next time.
See ya.
Seeing you.
Boop. A boop.
Excuse me.
Well done.
Wow.
Good job, guys. Dale, I am gonna play that wine game totally. In fact,
I installed
it's really cool, actually. Yeah.
Why not?
Check it out. I was pretty surprised, actually.
I also installed Her Story while we were sitting here.
Yeah, Her Story.
Really?
It's on Game Pass as well.
Nice. I wonder if this thing is on GeForce Now. That would be really convenient. 100 days? Wow, I forgot to ask you what the 100 days is about.
I don't know. I think by the game's own clock, I've been doing it for way more than
after 100 days. The Urquan and the Korra merge and then start killing everybody.
The Urquan.
I think maybe 100 days is like the average time for distilling or fermenting. Maybe, I don't know.
Is that it?
Just if I had to guess.
All right. Well, if you guys want to upload your files, and I'll get them published, and we'll be good.
What is the White Lotus TV series?
It is a sort of comedy drama thing on HBO. The first season there's this, like, it's like in Hawaii. It's this resort, and the story is about like these, like, there's like a family, and then like a few other random people, and then like the people that work at the resort, and it's a big sort of dramatic thing. It was a pretty cool show.
100 Days is on GeForce Now. This is perfect.
Looks like it won like a bunch of stuff at the Emmys that happened, just barely.
It was a pretty funny, pretty cool show. I liked it.
Ted Lasso. Is there a new season of Ted Lasso out, dude?
I don't know.
Nope. Only 2 seasons still.
I've just started watching the latest season of which that show is really good.
Of what?
If you haven't seen that. For All Mankind.
Oh.
On Apple TV.
Is that the one that's about the Russians winning the space race or something?
Yeah, it's an alternate history space race show, and the first season is like in the 60s and 70s, and the second season is in the 80s, and now the third season is like in the 90s. It's really cool, actually. It's very good show.
I started watching it, and I didn't really know what it was about, and so it was really confusing.
Yeah.
But anyway, just Game of Thrones for me. We finished Yellowstone. Now it's Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. House of Dragons. Sorry.
House of the Dragon.
It's really good.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings.
I predicted the end of the first episode, though. I'm like, this is what's going to happen. And it happened. Predicted.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm enjoying that show quite a bit. It's real good.
Maybe I'll watch Lord of the Rings.
I'm not certain on Rings of Power. Jeremy, who's the dude that fell from the comet? Is that supposed to be
He's
Sauron?
No, he's probably one of the Istari. He's probably one of the wizards. He's probably a blue wizard.
Is he?
Because there were 5 wizards.
Radagast?
No, but he's one of those. So with the 2 that we know are Gandalf and Radagast, and then there were 2 blue wizards who went south but were never heard from again.
Huh.
And then I can't remember.
Saruman.
Oh, and then Saruman. Yeah, that's right.
The white.
Yep.
Saruman.
There were 2 blues. I thought there was like a red.
Radagast the brown with the bird poop on his head.
Yeah.
That one.
Okay, so he's one of them.
That's our guy. That's who I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And I really like the way that they have elegantly referenced. So I don't know if either of you guys like are familiar with like the Silmarillion or anything like that.
Not overly, no.
But they make a lot of really elegant little callbacks. If you're interested, you should check. I put it in the TV channel, the commentary that I've been watching. It will help to point that stuff out. And it's like 45 minutes. And the guy is like the king Tolkien nerd. He is like the guy.
He gets.
How many episodes are out so far?
Yeah, 3. It's a new one every Friday.
I like what's the dude's name? The elf character that's like in love with the human woman.
Oh, I don't remember. Is how her
Valahorbs or something?
Galadriel's in it. Isn't the same Galadriel as the
It is
other
the
ones?
same Galadriel.
Yeah.
Same Galadriel, same Elrond.
I like that character, the dude.
Celebrimbor, dude. I know that guy from Shadows of Mordor.
Yeah, Celebrimbor's in there.
All right, I gotta watch it.
I have to say though that Halbrand, like, are they just trying to find like the dude who looks the most possible like Viggo Mortensen? Like,
kind of, yeah. It's gonna
like
be
100.
Something like that. So the thing is that the whole Aragorn Arwen thing is actually the second time in Middle-earthian history where an elf and a human, because they're making it now because there's this other dude, like you said, who's like in love with this human. But it's only, I mean, I guess it could have happened any number of times, but it only famously happened once before in the Second Age, I think. And so it's kind of this thing. It's like naughty love or whatever, and they're leaning into it just like a little too much.
Yeah, but like, I mean, what do we know of Galadriel's love life?
Here, let me tell you something that might reframe kind of so all of the humans that you have seen up until Numenor, they're all Southrons. So they are all they live in Mordor.
What later becomes Mordor.
Exactly. So they are the humans. They are the descendants of the humans who aligned with Morgoth in the war against the elves.
It's getting too nerdy for me.
Which is why the elves are like all like they're not trusting them, because to them, and Corey Olsen talks about this a little bit, to elves like it's not that much time, but to the humans it's been like generations. Like they don't even know
generations.
They don't even know what's going on. But the elves are like, oh, we got to watch these guys.
Yeah.
But actually they're not wrong, as it turns out. But that's where this dude Halbrand, like he's from there. So is he good? Is he bad? The kid's definitely going to be bad, pretty much, probably.
The kid. Oh, the kid that's the
son of the
woman's son.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't shown up again since episode 1 or something.
No, that's true.
Or was that 2?
No, he has shown up, but I can't remember what. Like, not doing anything interesting. But he'll probably end up being some.
Actually, she didn't show up at all in episode 3 either, right?
Let me think. What was she doing?